Have you ever seen contractors landing insane commercial deals and thought, what are they doing that I'm not? Well, after achieving $100,000 in commercial deals, I discovered it's because they're mastering 5 simple skills. So in this video, I'm going to show you what those skills are and how you can easily learn them to win $100,000 commercial deals so you can dominate as a commercial contractor. To start, I have to tell you the biggest lie that keeps contractors from ever winning $100,000 deals and how you can make sure it doesn't trap you. When I first started my contracting business, I thought the key to getting commercial jobs was to drive around town handing out business cards, hoping someone would call me, but I never got any real commercial jobs from it. I got more calls from my mom checking in if I was lost. Seriously though, every $100,000 commercial deal I've landed, they all started by simply showing up where the big commercial deals all start. So the days of chasing dead-end leads are over. No more wild goose chases, unless you're into that kind of thing. You just have to open up your laptop and get on LinkedIn. That's where all the high-value commercial clients are hanging out, and they're actively looking for commercial contractors. But here's the thing. If you actually want to land those big commercial jobs on LinkedIn, you just have to master 5 simple skills. I'm gonna break them down for you right now. When I first started on LinkedIn, I made those rookie mistakes, just spamming random DMs and hoping to land work. I even messaged someone who was in a completely different state. Obviously that went nowhere. But here's the thing. I stuck with it. I figured out how to actually use LinkedIn and ended up landing a $100,000 warehouse project because I understood what the customers want. And after I landed that job, the owner literally said, I can't wait to give you referrals. This project is going to turn out great. So you just can't wing it on LinkedIn and expect great results. You have to develop the #1 skill of understanding your customer first to earn their trust to win $100,000 projects. But how do you actually start figuring out what your customers want? Well, let me break it down for you real quick. First, all you got to do is figure out who the actual decision makers are. Think of property managers, general contractors, or building owners. Next, check out their LinkedIn profiles and see what headaches they're dealing with on their buildings or their properties. Like, are they dealing with budgets, timing constraints, or are they dealing with problems before they get huge? If you keep seeing the same issues pop up, just simply use those words in your own profile. But you don't want to just guess your way through your profile. Instead, build it straight from the problems you're uncovering. That's what makes clients pay attention. So let's just say that your clients are worried about staying on top of budget or tight timelines. Your headline could be something like, keep projects on budget and on time, comma, industrial painting, comma, owner at ABC company. And look, as you pick up more new pain points, just update your profile so it can match those. This is how you keep building the skill to win $100,000 contracts, is focusing on what the customer's wants and needs are. All right, so don't miss my next step because most contractors mess up the first shot they get with customers. Let's talk about it. And skill #2, back when I started on LinkedIn, I blasted out connection requests and hoped for the work to follow. It got me nowhere. That's when I noticed something. All these property managers chatted with the same handful of contractors because they actually trusted them. So here's how I changed it. One of my first commercial deals was from a VP of a huge office building. He had been following me for months. After seeing my posts, he just DM'd me about a project and handed over a $75,000 interior job, all because he had already trusted me from the content that he'd been consistently seeing. So you can't just send connection requests and think you'll get work. The real skill is learning to build trust by posting content that actually helps decision makers. But what type of content builds trust? So here's exactly how you can do the same. It's my simple step-by-step proven 3-part content system for contractors. And #1, stop starting every post with I. Open with what the buyer's dealing with. Like if you work with property managers, example could be, here's the #1 mistake painters make on your job. Or if you're trying to focus on facility managers that maintain warehouses, you could say, here's exactly how to prevent interruptions. #2, any questions that you get on the job, turn it into a post. If a GC asks you something, post it. Like a GC asked me why we prime block walls differently. Or a property manager wanted to know why we scrape paint in certain areas and not in others. And #3, post 2 to 3 solid pieces of content per week. Use this format. Start with a hook by calling out their problem straight away. Like, property managers deal with this all the time. Then the job breakdown. 1 or 2 quick sentences on what happened. Next, give a lesson. 1 sentence with the real takeaway. And finally, use a photo or video. Just a quick clip from the job site. But here's a quick tip. Don't just list the facts. Tell a story about how you saved the GC schedule or fixed the last minute problem on a job. And listen, all this content stuff is key, but there's one move you have to follow if you actually want your inbox to fill up with commercial work. Otherwise, you're basically invisible. Here's what most contractors miss. When I first started out messaging decision makers on LinkedIn, I just hit connect and immediately asked them if they needed any work done. Shockingly, almost nobody replied. And the few that did, well, let's just say it didn't lead anywhere good. Look, here's the thing. The only reason why I've made $1 million on LinkedIn is because I focus on building real business to business relationships, not just blasting out spammy messages. So the question is, how do you actually start these conversations and get real replies? Here's exactly how you can do that step by step. First, tell them right away why you're messaging them. Skip the intro, skip the pitch about what you are, just get straight to the point. Then point out a problem that they're dealing with. Something you found on their company page or their profile page when you check them out online. Like, hey Brian, I keep seeing these older buildings struggle with X. Next, explain super quick how you help fix the problem. And then just finish it off with a short question asking something like this. Hey, how do you actually handle those problems now? Here's what that would look like. Hey Brian, saw you work at X company, notice a lot of facility managers in your position have the same issues or problems. I help that by your solution, and then end it with a question. Curious, how do you handle that now? And here's a bonus tip. If you really want to stand out, send a quick personal video a couple days after you connect. The personal video will get you way more replies than just a text. But before you rush off trying this, there's one mistake I see all the time that'll ruin your chances before you ever send a message. You got to see this next one. And that's skill number 4. Okay, so most contractors think if you just connect with the right people, you'll suddenly get calls to bid on jobs. But that's a mistake. Just adding connections doesn't make anything happen on LinkedIn. And look, one of the first deals I won on LinkedIn was a $60,000 restaurant project. It wasn't because I just connected with them. It was the trust I showed them long before I ever showed up to bid on the project. So you're probably thinking, all right, how in the heck do you actually get someone to trust you if you've never actually met them in person? Well, it's way easier than you think because your LinkedIn feed is packed with posts from all your local decision makers. So this is your shot to get seen and start building some genuine credibility just by showing up in their comments. So here's how you can actually do the same. Just pick 1 or 2 posts every week from decision makers you want to work with. Like the posts and then actually read what they wrote. Just find one part that ties into your work. Maybe they mention repairs or upgrades, something you know about. Then drop in a simple quick comment like, that part about scheduling repairs before the end of the year, that really hits home. Then just add a quick tip of something you helped out on another job. Finish it off with a question like, hey, how do you usually handle those upgrade projects in-house or do you bring outside contractors? But here's the thing, try not to overthink it. Just 1 or 2 lines is all you need. Keep it simple because you building trust is the number 1 skill and it's the cherry on top. But look, learning to do this regularly is actually how you turn LinkedIn into a steady stream of real jobs. So stick around because up next, I'm going to show you exactly how to get a habit that pays off big. I used to have the mindset of set it and forget it on LinkedIn. I slapped up a profile, threw up a couple posts, and just sit back and wait for the phone to ring. But no one ever called. In fact, my phone was so quiet, I thought it was broken. Look, your first try is never the one that's going to get you big commercial jobs. It's about mastering these skills and consistently showing up. Simple as that. And here's the real kicker. Most contractors think they need a new hack, but what they need to focus on is just the skills that produce $100,000 commercial deals. So here's the skills that actually matter. First, figure out who the real decision makers are and start learning about them. Search for them right on LinkedIn. Next is just share a quick tip or a job story once a week, just like something you would share on the job site to start building trust with your content. Then try recording a simple sales video explaining what you do for property managers. Next, comment on 3 posts from local companies every week. Don't just lurk, actually drop a comment. And finally, just stick with it. Shiny new tricks won't undo just showing up regularly. So when you master these, you're going to set yourself up to win $100,000 commercial deals. But I'm curious, have you been working out lately? Hit that like button before your biceps get too big to reach the mouse.